What's going on, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you another Digimon Ghost Game episode review and recap. Today's episode is episode 18. Uh, episode 18. I cannot find my notes. Land of the Children. You're probably saying to yourself, why do you remember that offhand? Well, before I tell you why I didn't remember that offhand, please remember to give me a like, hit me up in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe. The big ones are the likes because we got to show the video. It's how we get seen. And subscribe. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that notification bell. And please share the video so others can see what a great time we're having. And make sure they subscribe too. So, why did I forget this episode? Because, well, I think it hasn't been a secret, and if it has been a secret, it's not very well kept. About my feelings about the show, I feel as though they let a lot of Digimon get away with stuff, especially when they do some really heinous things. I actually stopped myself from cursing there, such as, if I'm going to be completely honest, the one thing that was stopped, one Digimon actually paid for his crimes was the one that was killed by Gulas Gamamon, and it's only because Gulas Gamamon is evil, dark, bad one. I'm using air quotes. You know why? Because you know what? He's right. Just because we're friends, just because we talk, doesn't mean we're friends. Doesn't mean you guys know me. Yeah, that's harsh, but you actually don't know him. You don't know him all that well. You know the cute Gamamon and some of his evolutions, but do you really know where he comes from? No, Hero, because your dad just dropped him off there. Um, but he was rude for that. But that's the only one that actually paid for anything. Klopmon got saved, rightfully so, because he begged for help, and then he had a new leaf after that. I'm okay with that. Mummymon didn't really understand. I'm okay with that too. I even go as far as Pump/Pumpkinmon because spooky Halloween episode. He's lonely. He's a ghost. Ghosts do some messed up stuff. It's fine. But then we have Gatagaramon, Sirenmon, Majoramon you couldn't beat. They weren't going to be able to beat that. But I'm going with those two. I can't remember the Digimon of last week because I just oh yeah Snow Joe Mon, whatever, Snowblower Mon, right? Frozomon. The dude's an asshole. Pardon my language, but he is. He deserves to get beaten up. They beat him up, but then you got no, don't bully him. I would have beat y'all too. I hated that twist. That twist was so dumb. But some of the ones that are actual like, oh, I'm a sad Digimon, I get it. I totally get it. Actually, in the beginning of Digimon, when it came to Digimon Adventure, they didn't actually destroy or kill a lot of those Digimon. Those Digimon just got sent flying and got sent on their way. And a lot of times in the other shows, they try to give them a chance, right? They say, hey, stop this, don't do this. And some of them go, you know what, you're right, I don't know what came over me. This thing just happened, I'm sorry. I'm not even talking about the first Digimon Adventure. I'm not talking about season one, season two. I'm talking about everything else. And matter of fact, I'll and it's unfair for me to dip into it, but I'll dip into those first seasons. You know, those first seasons had actual threats, and it's like, okay, well, now when we come across Digimon that are actually bad, but they're sorry, okay, cool. A lot of Digimon are just flat out evil, and you need that flat out evil, so when you get to the truly interesting ones, you know why they're interesting. That's why I wasn't going to count those. Especially for season two, because season two had a bunch of Digimon that were fighting against their will until they start making Digimon that didn't have any emotions or feelings. Although Black War Greymon kind of throws a monkey wrench in that. Maybe they did have feelings and just you all didn't try to talk to them. But yeah, we see no actual consequence for Digimon that do crazy heinous things. Felismon, he's literally he's Mephistopheles, literally. And his whole deal was, you guys can't beat me, but this is too much trouble. I'm too lazy. I'm Shikamaruing this, so I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna come back when you least expect it. Wait, I can snap better than that. There you go. Everyone's unstonified, unpetrified, unstatuified. I want to have a third thing. Now, usually by this time, I run through the rundown, but I wanted to address very early on my feelings on why I'm really not hyped up on this series. And this episode kind of hammers home some of that stuff. And we see inconsistencies with the worries that some of them have. With the bathhouse episode, everybody else was worried about Gua's Gamamon, but for this and then the one episode where Hiro went camping, By the way, Cherrymon was actively eating people. They didn't try to kill it. And, you know, he goes from, oh, well, maybe I should try to understand it to, his evolution is unpredictable. I don't know which one. And yeah, he was worried about it before. But he really wasn't worried about it. He's just saying, which one am I going to get? This time around, it's just like he was worried. What do I mean? Well, very early on, there's Digimon that's whistling, and there's digital lines over other children at Digimon's head. And this Digimon is Petermon. He's Peter Pan, literally based on Peter Pan. I'll show you the image in a minute. He wakes up this kid and says, you smell good and have innocent eyes. Not creepy at all, right? He says, come with me. Children need to stay children. Whistles, digital lines over his family head, and a bunch of other things' heads. And early on, Garamon was supposed to watch a movie with Kira Shiro, but him and Hiro are met with two Hawkmon. Both of these Hawkmon says their friend Kazuma, he's gone missing. He's been gone for a week. What about his family? No clue what's going on that front. So these two Digimon have made friends with a human. Let me show you Petermon and show you the problem. So yeah, that's freaking Peter Pan, right? Now you want to know one thing that I have an issue with? Petermon. There's also a Tinkermon. That is a horrible, horrible picture of Tinkermon. There's Tinkermon. Oh, that's not. Come on, don't do that. There we go. It's Tinkermon, guys. It's Tinkerbell. Petermon is a champion level Digimon. Tinkermon is a rookie level. I'm gonna speak in terms of Japanese. Pardon me, just pardon me. Follow me here. Champion equals adult level. Makes sense. And rookie equals child. Every child will become an adult. Now, whether you become ultimate and reach your peak, you don't know. But whether you in Japanese it's called perfect. Not everybody can be perfect. But if you get to the ultimate stage, mega for us, when you get to the ultimate, that means you have broken past your limits. That is why the Japanese naming convention is typically better in my eyes. But whatever, they're just names of stages. But the names of the stages matter, right? We don't see Tinkermon at all. And it doesn't make any sense to me because they actually go together. I mean, there's even a picture here from this old online card game that I think was only featured in Japan. Let's read about Petermon. Aside from him being a fairy data adult slash champion Digimon, and I believe this is the first time we've seen him in anime. But he's been in the Pendulum Z Virtual Pets once, and his first official appearance was in that Crusader card game. Now, this Digimon has the appearance of a boy that dances freely in the sky. Attempts young and childish Digimon that refuse to evolve with "Let's make a country just for children," calling them to the child's world of Never Everland. That's a way of not getting sued, although I'm pretty sure that's public domain. Anyway, it built this world, and it is said to have a naive and innocent personality, but thanks to its purity, there's a brutality that lurks within. It's an a-hole. It's said, no, got there. It's particular, oh, in particular, it calls pretend punishment. It mercilessly beats Digimon who break their promises. Yeah, that's not creepy or stupid at all. Um, with Petermon's first-class handling of a sword, it is delicately manipulates the knife on its hip to punish the opponent, and it relentlessly chases opponents around while smiling scornfully with the dazzling swordplay of Snipe Sting. It throws things with it hits blows precisely with its twinkle shoot, and it also uses the Midnight Fantasia. It's a melody of his whistle that freely manipulates those that are sleeping. And I say those instead of Digimon because it manipulated children. Yes, you all. This thing literally kidnaps children in this episode. Do you think it got any consequence? If you paid attention to the first 2 minutes of me going on, you know the answer to that. Let's continue. So, Hiro does ask both of these Hawkmon, and you're probably asking yourself, why did they come to him? It's simple. Clockmon told them to. It says go to Hiro Anama. What the hell is his name? Amanokawa. Yeah, Amanokawa for help. And it's like, why? Because he'll never say no. You need to fix that. That is not a good character trait. Legitimately, not being able to ever say no is not good because people are going to use you. Eventually, we could have had some type of character development there, but we did not. Allow me to continue. So he goes over to Kiyoshiro because he still needs to go to school. And Kiyoshiro's dressed up like a wizard, got a long nose and ears. And apparently Jellymon says he's obsessed with this new anime called Magical Detective Elf. Because he's saying the line from the show, trusting the wisdom of a 3,000-year-old elf, which it looks like a mixture of Harry Potter and other magical animes we've seen. It's probably one of the highlights of this episode, seeing one of the many things that he likes and he's obsessed with. And that's okay. Um, so Gamma joins Hiro to go to school, and Kyushu is gonna ask about Kazuma to his family. He gets in the house of intercom, and this woman is going nuts. Like she's practically freaking screaming at him through the intercom. She's like, "There's no kid." He's like, "You know what?" She's like, "I'm gonna call the police." She's like, "You know what? I'm a wizard. I can open up the door." And does the name of a spell, and of course it's Jellymon. They can't see her. Jellymon opens up the doors on the inside, and he walks through. And he's like, "Well, whose shoes are those?" Because in their culture, they have a dip. They have a little dip area where you take off your shoes and you walk through the house. He's like, "Those shoes shouldn't be there." They go to his room. "This room shouldn't exist." Has a picture with him. Whose kid is that? He asks, "Can I see your phone?" "Who is this little boy?" And he's like, "So this could be Kazama, right?" And she starts to get a headache and she screams, "Leave the house now!" And just, all right, very dramatic. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, everybody. With something this dramatic, right? We got kidnapping, altering of memories. It's pretty serious things, right? Just And so when Kirishiro comes out, he's like, "Oh man, could this kid be a ghost?" And then the two Hawkmon come up. They're like, "No, it's not just them. A Gazimon and a Kamemon were both taken as well." Don't think it was a Kamemon. They probably meant Kumamon because I did not see a freaking Kamemon in this episode. But I digress. Um, so the gang all get together. Whether it's our two boys are in person, they're talking to Ruli through video chat, and they're like, "Yeah." So they figured out what's what the patterns is happening at night. It's happening on to Jellymon believes it's happening in on second floor homes. So the perpetrator is going in and out, and of course, with Ruli in the sky flying with Angormon and one Hawkmon and another leading the guys on the ground. Of course, they see Petermon flipping around with a kid under his arms, and he's identified. Yeah, it's Petermon. He does the Neverland stuff. Dude's pretty creepy, right? So he goes to the school area, and it looks like if you've ever seen any anime with a school, I don't know if it's just middle schools or high schools, but a school period, the open courtyard with the running track and everything. He gets there, he cries out, "Where are we?" And it says Never Ever Land. That's the password to get into this pocket dimension where the hole looks like, a black starry hole. He throws the kid in there, whoop, go in there. Yeah, children should be children. That's what he says. And it kind of harkens back, and I'm cutting in here, kind of harkens back to when, and I remember growing up, people say a child needs to stay in a child's place. There's something about that is just overtly abusive. Some people used to say that to their kids, and their kids were just being kids, not being obstinate. Some children who were being obstinate and being, for lack of better words, badass, deserve to hear those things. But it's something to that. And whenever he said children should remain children, it was something so twisted about that. At least personally, me having heard other people say that throughout the years, just something about that just made me ick. So he can control anyone who's asleep. That's the whole thing. He whistles, does a little whistle thing with the digital stuff. He can do whatever he wants when you're asleep. And they all get there and they're all there. And the funny thing is, they try to tell Grandma be quiet. He's like, I already spotted you. I could smell you. You stink of adults. This is stupid. Why do I say this is stupid? What's the whole point of this? You stink of adults. It's just further doubling down the creepy factor here, and the creepy factor that nothing happens with. But I digress. Let me continue. So He spots them quickly. He literally kidnaps the Hawkmons. He jumps through his little dimension. They can't catch up to him. Even Gamma's like, "You give me bad vibes," and jumps at him, but he's already through the hole and it closes. Hiro, being the smart guy, remembers the password. He's like, "Where are we?" Of course, it doesn't work on one side. The other person on the other side has to say the password. So they say, "All right, well, we're gonna have to try to do this again tomorrow night because there's no way he's gonna come out again, right?" That's actually not true because later on in the episode we do see him try to make 2 trips, but let me finish. So they all go home, they all go to sleep, and this creepy ass Digimon is like, maybe you all shouldn't wake up ever again. And he's gonna stab Hiro. He looks like Gamamon. He goes, "Oh, you're kind of cute. Oh, but you smell like an adult. Ooh, it's stinky." You know what? Children need to remain children. Does his stupid little whistle with the digital stuff going over everyone's heads. He visits each of their homes. I don't know why they all thought it was a smart idea to go home and not have your Digimon be like, that's a weird thing because Angoramon, why wouldn't he be the first one to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna hide in the closet or I'm just gonna be on the side and just in case this guy shows up." I can see Jellymon and Kirishiro. I can see Hiro and Gamamon because those two typically lackadaisical. I'm kind of surprised Kirishiro didn't be like, "Oh, but what if he comes at us at night?" This is one of the things where it's like a lapse in judgment. You know what? There are lapses in judgment in real life. I just think this is stupid. Anyway, they all get together again, and Garamon talks about Hawkmon. He's like, "What?" And Ruli calls all of them together, and Goramon had her phone the night before. It has footage of them chasing Petermon, footage of him tossing the children through, kidnapping the Hawkmon, and they're all like semi freaking out because they're like, "I don't remember any of this." Kirishiro didn't remember why he had made a list because he had a strategy and had planned for them to have a meeting to strategize, and he doesn't know why. And they're all like, "Oh, children should remain children." Jellymon's like, "I remember hearing that in my dream." And Goramon's like, "It probably wasn't a dream. Petermon can control people when they're asleep and manipulate them." And it's kind of weird that Gamamon remembers the Hawkmon. Like he adamantly remembers the Hawkmon. I'm gonna continue on that in a minute. Hopefully I remember to, but I'm gonna continue on that in a minute. So they go back to the spot and they need to come up with a plan, right? They don't go back to the spot, but they need to come up with a plan. And I'm gonna tell you the plan because I'm not gonna do this back and forth. The plan is they need someone on the other side, so they need someone to get captured to go on the other side. But of course, this dude already said they're adults, and it's funny because Ruli's like, "We're still in junior high, jackass," right? And Gamamon's like, "I volunteered to do it." So Gamamon pretends to be asleep. He does his thing. Now his magic pixel crap goes over his head, but Gamamon's pretending to be asleep. He's not really asleep. Um, Gamamon's gonna go on the other side. He's gonna get it to open. They follow, but they can't follow too closely. I don't like the dubbing on this because Rubli even said, "Remember, don't go get too close because he has good senses." And the writing had Hiro go, "Yeah, I know," and it seemed really abrupt when the literal Japanese says "Wakari Mastaka," which is "I understand," which you can just translate to "Gotcha." So I don't know who does the dubbing for that, but I digress. Anywho, anywho, he goes to the Never Ever Land craft. Inside, there's nothing but children and Digimon all playing. It's a light land, and I'm sitting there like, Garamon, please don't forget why you're here. And, Peter Mom makes a point of saying grown ups make rules and break promises and lie. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, who hurt you? I'm going to be honest with you guys. We don't figure that out because I don't think he was ever hurt. I just think he's just a dumb jackass who goes adults lie and cheat. You're a freaking adult level Digimon. You put rules in place that are stupid and you hurt people. You're dumb. Your innocence, your purity is stupid. You are literally an adult level Digimon. That's me flailing my arms. I digress. I really digress. So Gamma goes on to have fun. There is a purple Elecmon there who is playing soccer with the purple version of Patamon. I forget its name. It's equally as cute. I kind of like it a little bit better. But it's it and Kazuma. And he kicks the ball. Elecmon couldn't get in. Elecmon says, "Oh, if only I was bigger, I could have blocked that." Then Petermon starts freaking out. His world gets dark when he becomes a crazed lunatic, and he's like, the rules are no evolution, you know, don't evolve. You make promises, and he stabs the soccer ball with the sword with the big blade, and it looks like he's threatening Elecmon. Elecmon's like, no, I'm sorry, please forgive me. You're like, yeah, don't break your promise. Garurumon was gonna get involved, but both Hawkmon stop him and pull him to the back. Now he changes like the freaking bipolar weirdo that he is. His world gets sunny again, and he's like, all right, time to go back to go doing more kidnapping. So Hawkmon, they say, yeah, we pretend to go to sleep because if you pretend to go to sleep, his spells won't work on you. And they're like, how do you remember him? How do you remember us? And Garumon's like, I don't know, I just do. Remember, he smelled adults on him. I believe it's because they did evolve into adult levels. On top of that, he quite literally, there's something inside of him that probably supersedes everything on the outside world. I wouldn't doubt it if that other memory inside was like, yeah, I'm not gonna forget these doofuses, right? Excuse me. So the Hawkmon and Gammon gather all the other children around. They asked them, hey, do this, say the chant because someone's gonna call, and we gotta let him in. He does a call. They let him in. They see everything that's going on, and they're like, all right, we gotta get these kids. Petermon is back again. He instantly does the call. The children let him in. I'm thinking to myself, your plan didn't include telling them if Petermon comes back, don't let him in. And let's talk about Petermon's whole adults lie. Children lie. Flat out. I'm sorry. Children will lie. And it's not just a learned thing. Children test and see how far they can get along with. It's because they see their parents do it. They can be. I don't think there's a correlation there. There might be a causation there, but I don't think there's a correlation there because if you can have one parent that detests lies and doesn't lie at all, and if your kid goes out and sees another kid lie, he learned from another kid. Kids are horrible. Kids are horrible. If you used to be a kid, and we all have been, kids are horrible. They tease and make fun of you, and they're generally unpleasant. Being too honest to a point where it's like you're just an a-hole. So his logic here is stupid. Now you're talking about toddlers and stuff. I get it, but just ah, goodness, smack me, someone please. So he comes back and he's like, yeah, I could smell it. I can just smell you there, man. It's just what an asshole. He calls everyone foul. And he's like, you're breaking promises. We get a Digivolution from Sembira and Goramon and Tesla Jellymon. And they evolve. He's like, evolution's not allowed. Now, here's the crazy part. That was it this part, or was it earlier? It was in my notes somewhere, and I feel like it was earlier. I feel like it was earlier. Earlier in the episode, Hiro was like, I don't know what Galmon will turn into, so I won't have him evolve because Jellymon turned to Tesla Jellymon. Um, that's really stupid because the last two episodes with the hot springs one and then him going camping was his whole deal was like, well, maybe we should learn about Gula's Garamon. Maybe I shouldn't worry about it. Then maybe do I need to worry about it? So earlier episodes he's like, I don't really know what you're going to turn into, but let's just do it anyway. When you don't realize that evolution is them adapting to things, I would have figured someone that smart would have figured that. The Yada Garamon episode, he needed to fly. He turned to a flying one. The one with the weed mons that you could have killed those, but for some reason you trust the guy that created them out of nowhere. Idiots. He needed to be a railgun and kill many enemies at one time. I don't know. I don't know. Some inconsistencies here that are kind of stupid. So we get some beer and Goramon and Tesla Jellymon fighting, and this dude uses his Midnight Fantasia, which he put all the children in other Digimon to sleep. Only the two Hawkmon don't go to sleep because they've been pretending the whole time, so they won't be affected. The sleeping children grab onto the Digimon, and Sembira and Gormon's like, man, I shouldn't have let this happen. You're kind of detestable using children as shields. And they're still able to dodge his attacks. He has big bunny ears to slap all this stuff away. And Tesla Jellymon's still able to slap him. I do think one of the funniest parts is when she pulled Kirishiro over closer with one of her little tentacles. That was actually pretty funny. Little point for that. And now we have dude does twinkle shot. He throws the sword and it's heading towards Kazuma. Both Hawkmon are like, we're not gonna let this happen. It's like, all right, so one of you gonna die? No, they both digivolve. They turn into Orcamon. Orcamon is, you see that symbol of light right there? Yeah, that's an armor level Digimon. I didn't think they would turn to Orcamon, but yeah, and that's actually a canon thing with or without the Digimental or Digi Egg of Sincerity. I'm very, very surprised, but yeah, it's an armor level aquatic beast man Digimon who armor slash champion level, but armor level mainly. Wears a life jacket, lifesaver, has a conscientious personality, and is overly cautious type. Although it's clumsy in some areas that it breaks things by hitting them too much, is actually a savior of the ocean who has outstanding agility, and there are many other Digimon that rely on it and come to it for advice. When it battles, the speed of its movements on land, speed of movements increase. On land, it runs as if it's cutting through wind, and underwater, it swims elegantly without disturbing the current. If it also gets into a pinch, it will call its comrades with high frequency waves and attack en masse. A special move is pulverize an enemy with powerful dolphin kit, Vasaro Crush. Orcamon was adopted from a winning entry. Someone drew this. Orcamon is fairly old, fairly old. He's shown up in not this is the first anime he's been in, but he's been in the D terminal stuff, the D2 stuff. He's been in D3s. Sorry, the D3s and the D terminals. He's been in those. He's been around. So, where am I at? So they save him, and he thanks them. They free the other Digimon and other children from being asleep with their echolocation move, and they all see that they've digivolved. The other Digimon digivolve. We get where are we at here? Actually, Gamamon is like it's time to evolve, so he digivolves into Winzen Gamamon, the Triceratops one with the pulsar cannons. So he does the sit in a shot, which hits Petermon. Electmon turns into Thunderballmon. Gazimon turns into Hanumon, which is Apemon in English. Um, and then we get, Bearmon and a Hagurumon, the geared Digimon, turn into Grismon and Gardramon. And he's freaking out. And he's like, hey, no evolution. The children are saying, yeah, they want to grow up too. And he's freaking out saying, adults are the worst and grown-ups lie and they cheat and all this other stuff. And Hero's like, well, my dad, always talked about growing up and playing and being an honest person. He's like, what's a father? And I'm like, shut up. And Hero says, look, I'm going to be like my dad and I'm going to keep my promises. And that's a promise. And he's like, are you sure? Then breaking through this dimension is Captain Hookmon. Yes, guys, Peter Pan and Captain Hook. There's no good pictures of this thing. I'm just flat out. I just gotta say, there are no good pictures of Captain Hookmon. Just none. This is the best I got for you. That leg is yes, it's actually a gun. Run through this guy real quick. Ultimate level machine man, vaccine type Digimon. He's a heroic captain that has relied upon rely upon to exert its leadership with a pirate ship that cruises the digital world. It excels in the art of survival, but the duty to support its subordinates weighs heavily on it, and it knows firsthand just how difficult that is. Therefore, it's not only crossed the ocean with gentlemanly conduct before weak opponents and so forth, but it's also skilled in making its way through the world. It isn't brutal enough to challenge anyone on an unreasonable battle, but if challenged to a battle, it would meet the enemy with all its power. The Rage Giga Anchor equipped to his hand expresses his intimidating air to the opponents just by being held up, and specializes in violent fighting styles that make free use of its Pirate's Punisher. It has the steady attack and gunfire functions. The leg revolver fitted to his right leg is a technique suited to surprise attack, but Captain Hookmon is such a gentleman that it will fire off a warning shot first. It was in, again, the Digimon collectors thing, the same place where Tinkermon and Petermon came from. So this dude breaks through. And he finally says, "Yeah, I can tell the kid's not lying. He has the same. It's people like me that are adventurous and choose to chase their dreams." And now this has just gotten freaking weird because where the hell did he come from? Where did he come from? Literally, he broke through a pocket dimension. And so Petermon's like, "Huh, you smell innocent. You smell good." And he jumps on the ship. They start fighting like Peter Pan and Captain Hook would. And Hiro tells him, "You gotta return the children." He's like, "Yeah, I'll do that. And then you keep your promise." And Goremon's thing says life is like a journey. It can be tough. I don't know what else typing here is raging. It could be tough or it could be easy, depending on the course. Kirishima and others get their everyone gets their memories back. Kirishima remembers the anime he had been watching the whole entire time. Hiro wonders if he can keep his promise, and Rui says yes, as long as you meant it. And this show, Endpoint, shows there is no consequence for people that do evil things. Next episode, people vanish. Who cares? We'll figure out what happens when we get there. That's what I mean by no one faces consequences. He gets to go off with Captain Hookmon, who invites him. Captain Hook's like, come with me, kid. You can follow your dreams. So we're just trusting him just to send back all the children and all the Digimon. How the hell did you get out of that dimension? That's the part I don't like. You could have been like, he goes, all right, whistles. Every memory comes back. Open up the dimension, then everyone can leave. Or they got on the boat and everybody leaves. How the hell did he get there? Whatever. Just dumb. And again, why was Tinkermon not there? If you're gonna do the whole Peter Pan and Captain Hook crap, put the Tinkerbell in there so you can have the whole set and it makes sense, right? Right? I don't know if these things are rushed or just whoever writes this just isn't thinking. I don't know. I don't know. This is super average for this series. It's literally a 3. Writing's a 2, but this is average for this show at this point. This is not particularly. This is just. It's not a particularly good Digimon show. Like the premise is nice. Like there's a mystery from day to day and things like that, and that's nice. And it's reflected on real world mysteries and yokais and things like that, and mythology stuff like Peter Pan and stuff like that. But you have these legitimate evil, creepy Digimon that everything cannot be a misunderstanding. Eh. Again, I'm saying it's a 3. What's this? This was episode 18. Next week's 19. When we get to 20, I'll laugh if anything of importance actually happens. Like, plot is second in this episode. Plot, not even second, plot is third. Because I guess this is for somebody. I don't know who. If you enjoy if you've enjoyed this series so far, please let me know in the comment section down below because it just blows my mind some of the things they could have done and some of the misses that they take. Don't forget to hit me up with that like, guys. I really, really appreciate it. I need you to subscribe too. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers. If you're not new here, hit the notification bell and don't forget to share this video. Just kidnappers, killers, got Draculmon that's running amok somewhere. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. As always, thank you for taking some time out to spend some time with me. Please be good, be blessed. Wash your hands. Be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, do not be a jerk. Realize that you are never alone, and I will most definitely see you next time.